In this video, I'm going to explain how I made my client an extra $139,000 per month with this funnel. I'll show you what type of funnel this is, all the steps. I'll show you examples of each of the steps and explain how you can implement it in your business. Now, I've made over $50 million in revenue in the last 7 years through email marketing and funnels, $5 million for my own business and over $45 million for my clients. And I've discovered the funnel formula for how to grow revenue quickly. And I want to share it with you today. So step one, social media. YouTube is great for growing an audience and building trust, but it is terrible for making sales. So what we need to do is we need to get people onto the email list. And about 80% of the revenue in business is through the email list rather than directly through social media. So in order to grow the email list, we need to increase the opt-in rate. Now, this client, when they first came to us, they were only getting about 100 opt-ins per week. And what they had in place was a newsletter. But a newsletter as an opt-in is not optimal. What we want to do is to have something really valuable that people get when they opt into the newsletter. And that increases the number of people who will opt in. And this is known as a lead magnet or a freebie. And just by having something in place, you're probably going to double your opt-in rate. But we don't want just an okay lead magnet. We want a great one. And to make a great lead magnet, what we want to do is have something that is really quickly usable and gives them a lot of value. So it's very easy and quick to use and gives a lot of value to people. Ideally, they get the value out in like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. Now, for this client, she was in the spirituality space, and all of her clients, all of her customers were already meditating. And so what we did is we gave 5 free meditations that people could download. And when they downloaded them, they could listen to them, do their meditating while listening to this. And it was like an instant pick-me-up, an instant win for them. What you need to do is brainstorm what could be a great lead magnet for your business. And to make this easier, I've put together a list of the top performing types of lead magnets and AI prompts to help you identify the best lead magnet for you. Click the link in the description to download this. So the step here is use a great lead magnet, not a newsletter. And this is an example. I can't actually share everything from this particular client, so I'm just going to show you some examples that we use I use on my site. And so here we go. We've got the where should we send you your free PDF, and it's a 7-day roadmap that people can fill in, and they just download this, and that adds them to the newsletter. This client only had the newsletter mentioned in a few places, so it's kind of hard to spot it. So what we wanted to do was put it everywhere. So the first thing then to do was to create a pop-up. Now, you might be thinking, oh, pop-ups are kind of annoying, I don't like them, but they do work fantastically well for getting opt-ins, and they are a reasonable price to pay for people for having all this valuable content on your site. So the next thing we did was to set up that pop-up. The next thing was to then put that lead magnet everywhere and put it on the homepage, put it down towards the bottom of the homepage again, and also put it within blog posts. So as somebody's reading through a blog post, this comes up. And so it's like a little advert within the blog post actually showing this. I'll show you an example on my site. As you scroll here, you'll see partway through the blog post, here we go. There's this like ad for our lead magnet, and someone clicks that, it brings up the pop-up. And so that helps to increase opt-ins considerably by having this kind of thing in place. And that increased the opt-ins from about 100 a week to about 800 a week. So an 8 times increase by changing these things that I've shown you so far. But we didn't stop there. We wanted to grow the list faster. And like I mentioned, YouTube and social media, they're great for building an audience, but they're not great for sales. So we wanted to go and do the same thing across social media and on YouTube as well. So we started to link to the lead magnets from everywhere on social media. Let me show you what that looks like. If we look at this video on my channel, then you'll see that in the description, we've actually got a link to a lead magnet, and it's above the fold. This is really, really important. So before someone clicks more, the link is showing. So it's got the short explanation about it, and then it's got the link to it as well. And it's also in the pinned comment, and it's also mentioned in the video itself. And by doing this, you can normally take the opt-in rate on a YouTube channel from the number of views to the number of opt-ins to be from about 0.25% up to about 2, 3, 4%. This is actually totally realistic. Here is another channel that does this fantastically well. So Ben Doswolski is a friend of mine. He runs WordPrep, and they have the same things. This video is about how to do strict pull-ups for CrossFit. And then within the description, it says you can download our free pull-up training guide and it's got the link to it there. And it also, he mentions it within the video too. So then where are you pointing people to from that link? you're pointing them to a lead magnet landing page. And if you do this right, these opt-ins on this landing page are out of this world. Where a normal opt-in page might be about 40%, these can be about 70%. We've had one at 78% before. And so the idea is they're relatively straightforward. They need to match exactly with what you've just said in the video and in the description about what they're going to be getting. You have a headline, you have a picture of yourself and of the product on a mobile or on iPad. You have the opt-in forms, you give a bonus, you have the call to action button that's written in the first person, and then you explain underneath about your privacy policy and about what it is that they're going to get once they sign up for this. And once we made those changes, the opt-ins jumped from 800 a week to 5,000 a week and then 10,000 a week. It stabilized around that kind of 5,000 a week level. Now, these guys had a really big audience, but maybe your audience isn't as big as that. But whatever audience you've got, you can expect a relative increase in the number of leads that you're getting by implementing these tactics. So as a result of this, the email list jumped from 38,000 up to 250,000 people, which obviously, when you're then sending emails to those people with sales offers, makes a massive difference in terms of sales. All right, so that's great. Now we've started to build a bigger email list. This is excellent. The next thing that we actually put into place was something that's it's like the 80-20 of the 80-20. It's like the simplest, most straightforward thing that you can do. It's like a real quick win. So if you're already making sales, you add in this additional step and it's going to give you about 15 to 20% more revenue. And this is known as an order bump. And an order bump is something that you have on the checkout page as an additional item that somebody can buy, normally for about 30%-ish of the price of the original product that they're buying. So I've drawn this out as a funnel map here. So we've got this main funnel. We've got all this traffic coming into the website to the opt-in pages. And we've got a sales page, and the sales page goes through to an order page. So this order bump is on the order page, and we have that over here as well. That is exactly where it is showing. Now, after we then set this up, the next step was then to improve the positioning, improve the type of order bump. So we did a lot of A/B tests. We figured out which kind of order bump would work best. We tried different copy, different text for promoting it. And in the end, we got really, really good conversion rates. And what we're looking for here is about a 30 to 60% conversion rate of people who buy the main product who also buy the order bump. And here's an example of what one of these looks like on the order page. So you see you've got the credit card details for someone to fill in, and then underneath you've got this bit explaining about the order bump, just a couple of paragraphs, and then a little tick box, and they can add that in. So why do order bumps matter? Why is this worth doing? Well, if we're selling something, we're normally working with clients selling courses. If they're selling a course for $77, and on average, these people sold 483 products per promotion, and that's $37,000. Now, if you then have 30% of those people buy the order bump, and it costs $37, then that gives you about an additional $5,000 in revenue, which is outstanding. I mean, who doesn't want an additional $5,000, right? Total revenue from all order bumps with this client was $119,000 per year. Now that adds up, doesn't it? I mean, that's a lot of money. This is really the 80-20 of the 80-20. So next step after the order bumps was the next logical thing to do, which was once somebody has finished checking out and they maybe bought your additional product, we're going to offer them another thing they can get. But here we're going to offer them something that is more expensive. So maybe as much as the original product or even more. And this is specifically called an upsell within the context of online funnels. That's like the technical name for it within funnel software. So where does this go? This goes after the order page. This is the next page that somebody sees. Here is an example of an upsell. So it starts out by saying, congratulations, we're sorting out your account for, in this case, the effective paternity method. Different person, not our client, just an example. So it's saying you'll receive a confirmation shortly, but while you wait, why not get this as well? And then it goes into actually making the sales pitch for buying this additional offer, in this case for $197. So why does this matter? Well, if you were selling a course for $159 and sold 303 products per promotion, as our client did, and they were making $48,000 per promotion, and 10 to 20% of people buy the upsell, well, at 20% conversion rate, you're making about an additional $5,000 again. And with this client, we made them an extra $140,000 per year through upsells. Step 4 that we did was to improve the checkout experience. And we haven't even really got into the bits that made the most money yet, but this was done in a very specific order. So we improved the checkout experience. What we did is we tracked the conversion rates and we improved the ones that were the worst first and then worked our way through them. What makes a really good checkout page? There's a few things to it. It should be nicely designed in line with the branding of your entire site and your sales page and everything else, so it feels reputable. It should have a picture of you on it or of the product. If you're a course creator, then it's definitely going to be a picture of you with your product. If it's just an e-commerce business, maybe you're not going to be on there. The next thing is we want to have as few fields as possible for people to fill in, so we're not making it too difficult for them to check out. Don't make it hard for people to give you their money. Next, we want to have trust badges, so things like Visa, MasterCard, etc. We want to have a guarantee on their testimonials, benefits. This might sound like a lot for a checkout page, but this is what converts. And then we want to have reminders of what is included in the product. Let me show you an example of what this looks like. This was the client's checkout page before. As you can see, it's very simple. It asks a lot of questions, including address. It's got the space for gift card or discount code, which is confusing because people then go, oh, maybe I should have one of those, and start looking for it. It isn't beautifully designed, etc. This is the checkout page after. This is much more in their branding style, and it's got testimonials on there, and it's simpler and easier to read, and there's a mobile version of this, and it's all very straightforward. But also, if you scroll down the page, there's going to be a guarantee on there. Let me show you an example of one of mine. So here's my checkout page, and if we go back a step, you'll see the colors and the branding. And then on this page, you'll see that's the same thing. It says order customization, 80% done. This makes people feel like they're most of the way through the process. We have got a reminder of what it is that they're getting. We've got the guarantee. We've got some testimonials. We have an order bump. As I mentioned before, we have not very many fields for them to have to fill in. We have trust badges down here so they feel comfortable making the payment. We have the guarantee again. We have a reminder of what they're getting. And then we have a reminder of how to buy. Click that, it goes back to the top again. So all of these help to increase conversion rates. And what we saw was an increase from around 3% to 41% in the checkout page conversion rate. Like more than 10 times the conversion rate by making these changes. Oh, good. This is so good, this stuff. This makes such a difference. Please implement this. Okay, next step. Now, we built up that big email list. That's been building for a little while now. Now we're going to start sending out email promotions to the audience. We've got our improved order bumps. We've got our improved checkout pages. We've got our upsells in place. We start sending the email promotions. We're going to be making more sales, and we're going to have higher revenue per sale. This is exciting. Now, most people don't want to send out email promotions because they feel salesy and they feel spammy and aggressive. But the reason to have an email list is in order to be able to make sales promotions to it. So what if there was another option? Instead of not sending them or being salesy and spammy, why not send good email promotions? And what I recommend here is nurture promos. These are email promotions that both make people feel that this is valuable content and make people move towards the sale at the same time. Very, very valuable, very, very important. Now here we've got the structure of one of these emails. We have 3 warm-up emails. These do not make a sale at all. They're just about providing value that is connected to the offer that we're going to be making. Connected, but we don't even mention there's an offer. Then we have our announcement email. We have an email that talks more about the logical reasons to buy. We address people's fears and concerns. We talk about how different their life could be if they go ahead and do this, if they make this change. We give testimonials and frequently asked questions, and then we use urgency and scarcity to make the sale in the going, gone emails with reminders of the benefits. All of that points people through to the sales page. And what we're looking for here is about a 1.2 to 5% average click-through rate from the emails through to the sales page. And with this client, they were making on average $33,000 per promotion, and we were doing 2 promotions per month. Now, some people might think that's a little too aggressive, having 2 promotions per month. What we normally do now is have 1 promotion and then 1 flash sale. This client, we really wanted to increase the revenue significantly, so we were doing 2 full promotions per month, and that's what it led to, this increase of $33,000 per promotion. And that led to $65,000 per month increase in revenue from that. Plus on top, we've got all these other bits we've been piling up. Step 6, we wanted to improve the offers. So we had these courses. We're selling them through email promotions. We've got better checkout pages. We've got better order bumps, better upsells. This is great. But we didn't have enough offers to make. We can't just keep selling the same thing again and again. We wanted to improve the offers, but what people don't realize is you can actually improve the offer without changing the product. So how do you do that? You add in bonuses and guarantees. Now, previously, this client wasn't using guarantees, so we added those in, and that makes the person who's buying it feel much more comfortable. They're much more likely to go ahead. Somebody has to take the risk. It's either the person buying or it's you. I think as the business owner, it should be you. So here we have the guarantee, backed by our no risk guarantee, 100% risk-free, 5 days guarantee. 5 days is actually a little stingy. I would have preferred to go to 30 or to 60. I've got a friend who's gone up to 365 days money back guarantee. Okay, so what's next? Now we want to optimize the sales pages. So the sales pages themselves can be improved so that more people, when they get there, they're sold, they're interested, and they go to that checkout page. Now, there are 15 crucial steps to a great sales page. If you want to get this list, screenshot this, pause the video and screenshot it. I've not got time to go through all of these right now. If you check out the rest of my channel, I have got more videos where I cover about sales pages. But the basic idea is you start above the fold with really getting people's attention with a very compelling headline and a sub-headline and a VSL and a great call to action button. Then we really get into addressing the problems that they're facing. We have problem, agitation, solution. We talk about the benefits. We do future casting. And then we're going to move into more of the practical stuff, like what's actually in this product. We talk through the details of that. Who are you as the instructor? Build up your credibility, talk about the details of the product. We're going to have the bonuses, the guarantees. We want some social proof to show that this is really as valuable as what you've been saying. We close with a reminder. We have frequently asked questions, and then we need some kind of urgency and scarcity to get people to take action right now. I think I covered all 15. If not, go back, check. Take that screenshot. Now, step 8 was then to create new offers. So this client only had a few courses and we needed more. So they had a membership and we extracted from the membership stuff that we knew their audience was interested in. Now, their audience was particularly interested in relationships. So what we did is we took all the stuff out of the membership that was about relationships and sold that as its own product as well. So we helped them to create 2 new offers from their existing content, and that made them $200,000 in less than 2 months from those by doing email promotions. And don't forget, you can download the guide with the best lead magnets and AI prompts to help you plan your lead magnet. Just click the link in the description below. Now, the next step is so clever that people get a little bit carried away and they want to do this first. Don't do this first. Wait until step 9 for when you're going to do this. This is building a tripwire funnel. Now, where does a tripwire funnel fit into this whole thing? If we look over here, we've got the website, we've got the opt-in, we've got a thank you page. It goes here. Instead of the thank you page, we're going to put a sales page. So this is almost like the upsell that we had before. So after someone's opted in for free, they get a sales page for a cheap product, $7, $27, something like that. Then there's an order page. Then there's an upsell. When you put all this in place, it's like magic, because every new opt-in you get sees this whole funnel immediately. They don't even have to have read the emails and then opted in. It's every new lead is seeing this. And between 3 and 12% of people who see that offer are going to buy if you do this correctly. So these guys went from 0 organic sales from here, because they didn't have this in place at all, to 1,077 sales a month from this tripwire funnel. The order bump had a 40% conversion rate. The upsell rate was about 12%. So there's all this additional revenue coming in from those things as well. You know that whole idea of make money while you sleep? This is the ultimate iteration of it, because this is just running constantly and it always brings in sales. It does fantastically. And the reason you leave it to this point is because this uses stuff that you've already built in the rest of the funnel. It's got your improved sales page. It's got your improved checkout page, your improved offer. It's got the order bump. It's got the upsell. You've already gone and done all those things. And now you're taking that and you're slotting it in here. So that's why you leave this till the end. That's all great, but none of it matters if you don't know how to write for your audience. So now watch this video to learn the process that we use with 100% of our clients to make copywriting easy.